And we're live again. We are live again. Not sure if the microphone being used is the one in my headphones or the one on the speaker. But I'm getting ready to fly out. Getting ready to fly out. So, Addis Ababa Airport, Ethiopia, and this is the lounge. The business class lounge. I'm in a particular corner of it. Kindly requested to proceed to gate number C1. Thank you. In a particular corner of it. But it is a particularly big lounge with many nice areas, but you're not really allowed to video and such. And it's also a lounge where they allow you to smoke cigarettes in certain sections, so I'm out of that particular area. I am out of that particular area. What's up, Nicer? Yes, I'm heading home. Shout out to K Business. Shout out to K Business. Yes, I mentioned earlier it's a large. This is the restaurant area. So just casually walking around and acting. Trying to be inconspicuous while I record things. Trying to be inconspicuous. As I said, one of the larger business lounges that I've been at, business class lounges, but also quite nice. I have a little bit of a traditional setup over here with them colors. So it's a nice area for kids. I have a kids section over there. A kids section over there on the lounge, so no private rooms. Private rooms. I already got my coffee, but otherwise there's a section over there for coffee. Nice little comfortable chairs. In case. Yep. Some nice sweet tooth stuff with some other food on the other side as well. But, and also, as I mentioned, some good coffee, of which I already got mine. And the party is going on in the other end. But I'm going to come over to the quiet section reserved for the introverts. Where the introverts hang and sip my cappuccino. see what's going on over here. Hmm. Just here reading your comments, and overall, I'll have to say that it's been a good experience. It has been a good experience overall. Nothing to complain about whatsoever. Now, I did think that my flight was at 11 p.m., but it's more like, well, no, I thought it was midnight, but it's earlier. But good thing I always arrive at the airport at least 3 hours early, so we're good in that regard. We are good in that regard. So, a month on the road will definitely mean that when I get back to home base in the Bay Area, I'll have to do some decompressing, do some fasting and prayer. Some prayer and fasting. Get back on the diet. Get back on my water and salad diet. Get back on my 1 meal a day situation. Definitely getting a little pudgy in the face area. Gonna need to rectify that. But overall, it was all good. Ghana was great. Ethiopia was great, which was a last minute decision to kind of stop over here or come back over here after I spent a day. But all worked out quite well, I would say. All worked out quite well. No complaints whatsoever. So I'll be boarding Ethiopian Airline flight ET 921 to Washington, and then from Washington to San Francisco, SFO, San Francisco. Yes, Carl, that weight gain. I do a lot of traveling, domestically, right, for work and stuff like that. And I'm quite disciplined with my traveling. So I don't, I go to the gym when I travel. I do, I stay on my water routine and all that kind of stuff. But this was a little different. This was a little different. I tried to be as disciplined as possible, or as I wanted to be. But I also wanted to let loose a little bit. I also wanted to get a little crazy, and I got a little crazy. So it was fun times. I met with Habesha Traveler and African Tigress through a mutual friend. Um, I showed up in their channels. Go check out their channels, Habesha Traveler and African Tigress. Did a little interview over there. And I took a lot of footage of the city, different parts and places that also outside the city that I will be uploading slowly. Some to Patreon, some to the regular channel as time goes on. Right? Definitely. And shout out to the team in the house. K Business says I'm married. That's why. That's why I'm getting pudgy in the face. Sup, Aaron B? Shout out to Aaron B in the house. Shout out to Aaron B in the house. So, Chef in the house.
Flight number ET600 to Dubai. All remaining passengers of Cloud 9, Shima Mines Platinum, Shima Mines Gold, with Star Alliance Gold member passengers are kindly requested immediately to proceed to gate number AA through flights ready for departure. Thank you.
Yo, 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 yo. So, while I'm at it, since I can't help myself, since I'm always having thoughts, and since I like sharing my thoughts, One of the ones that I may develop further. Well, I've been having lots of thoughts lately, obviously, but there is a question as to the importance of growth, right? Growth. If you look at a political system such as ours, for example, there's a reason why people are always talking about how much did we grow last year? How much did the economy grow? Okay, are we in a decline? Are we have a negative growth? China's growth is slowing down. Growth, 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 growth. That is because in a representative democracy such as ours, it's easy to talk about slicing up the pie and here's some for you, here's some for me, and let's redistribute this, or let's talk about inequities in that, as long as there's growth. But when there is no growth, when growth slows down, when growth, when there's stagnation, as I believe there is writ large, then that becomes a problem. And this is also true for yourself, for your life. When anything becomes a zero sum game, it becomes very dangerous. In other words, you cannot avoid the importance of expansion and growth because without it, things become a zero sum game and then all systems break down.
Ethiopian Airlines and Indoor Star Alliance flight number 80 for a straight tour destined to Praha is now ready for boarding on Cloud 9, Shiva Miles platform, Shiva
Shout out
Miles
to
Go,
Tefana
link
Perry
Star Alliance
in
for
the
the
house
Baker
says,
passengers.
"Hey, Ike tuning
After
in
boarding
on
President,
my
please
launch.
keep your
Break,
seatbelt
break,
fastened up.
break,
Thank
break,
you.
break, break, break." Yeah. So, getting ready to fly back. Getting ready to fly back. Chilling, lounging. So, you're gonna take long flights, and
Khidmat Nakuban, welcome to our
if you're over
facility.
6 feet,
The Star Alliance Hawaiian Ethiopia Limited, they were around the
pay the
sector
extra
when
money
visit the Stara, Kudameta Shat
and fly
Alliance,
business
Satna
class.
Masaka, House Bitulam,
You heard
Arakuru
that,
Kune
sole
Cloud
provider
9,
speaks?
Shabam Miles Platinum, Shabam Miles Gold, landing the Star Alliance
I don't know how
Golawan.
tall you are, sole provider, but you
Odessa
seem a little
Hayata
tall
Airport,
from what I
Sisa
see
Bahasa Negative Safar Vetutan
in your
Island,
videos.
Vetutan Island.
See,
Ladies and
I'm
gentlemen,
6'4",
our attention please. Ethiopian
and I
Airlines and
traveled
Indoor
long
Star
distance
Alliance flight number
once
80
in economy, and I never did it again.
624 destined to Mescat is now ready for
And then
boarding
you
on
also
Cloud
get
9,
the
Shiva Miles
perks such as
Platinum, Shiva
the
Miles
business
Gold,
class
link Star
lounges and
Alliance
the
for the
blah blah
Baker
blah and all
passengers.
that nice
Kindly
stuff
give your passenger to proceed to
and the
take the seat at the
13,000
Thank
course
you.
meal they feed you over there. But in terms of the flight, but the main thing is the leg room. I sacrificed leg room once, and it took me weeks to recover, and then I realized that it's not worth it. So reach into your pockets, pay the extra money if you are 6'4". Don't be cheap. Don't be cheap. Shout out to the Goldie Jones channel. Shout out to Chaos Rain in the house. Yes, Carl Black. There is a feeling of suffocation, stagnation, and stifling when growth stops. It is important for the economy. It's important for your relationships. You don't. We are the kinds of systems, the kinds of animals that, whenever we see things as a zero sum games, a series zero sum game, things get dangerous, right? Because anytime anybody is expanding in a zero sum game situation, then it is seen as though it is being that expansion is coming at the expense of someone else. That's why there needs to be growth. However, in recent times, people lie about growth. In other words, the governments lie about growth. Because in reality, if you think back in the day, technology used to mean all kinds of things, right? Technology would mean um, transportation technology. We'll talk about flying cars. You would talk about things such as microwave, or you're thinking about teleportation, and you're thinking about better ways of building things. Technology, 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 and this is the realm within which we get most of our growth. But now technology means what? Technology means the new iPhone with a smoother screen. Can I get a one in the chat if what I'm saying makes sense here because it's fake growth. It's like, hey, here's a new iPhone. Technology is now in the space of software, in the space of software, out of the space of the atoms, out of the space of what you may call the physical world. Now you hear the word tech, you hear the word tech, and you immediately think information technology. Okay? While everything else is stagnated, right? Back in the day, you're like, oh, let's go to the moon. I mean, I know Elon Musk is trying to go to Mars, but it's not the kind of thing that typically is said writ large. Think of also biotechnology, for example, like the cure for cancer, right? Oh yeah, we're getting closer and closer and closer to the cure for cancer. It's like, well, where's the damn cure? We can do this or we can do that. But basically, people say there's growth, there's growth, there's growth, but really it's just a smoother screen for you to stare into and look at zeros and ones. Now, the real result, because you can't lie forever, and also because no matter how much you lie about the growth that's taking place, the real result of what you see in terms of the uneasiness and the unrest and so on and so forth that manifests itself in many different ways. Whether you're in Wokistan or Magistan, okay, whether you're over there with the woke people or you're over there with the MAGA people or somewhere in between, these are just manifestations of the fact that many people have been left behind by the fake growth narrative, okay? And there are many manifestations of that, whether it's water, no water in Flint as a result of the dying automotive technology industry, blah, 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 blah. But we can take it down to our lives, right? Just our lives, our relationships, and so on and so forth, that growth is important. Expansion is important. Creativity is important. Profits are important because it's with the profits that you can do the research and then you can have room for growth. Because once things become a zero sum game, people start to tear at each other. Okay? We can pray and try to wish that away, but that's how it has always been. We are always trying to expand the frontier, move on, go to greener pasture, and so on and so forth. The moment that is no longer the case, it becomes a problem. Anyways, just one of the thoughts out here. Out here, what time is it over here in Ethiopia? It is 9:38. So,
የኮሮና ቫይረስን ለመከላከል ይቻል ዘንድ እባካችሁ በምትቀመጡበት ጊዜ ርቀታችሁን ጠብቁ። እጃችሁን በተደጋጋሚ በውሃና በሳሙና
I will be
በመታጠብ
boarding soon,
የተለያዩ
boarding in
ማስኮችን
about
በመጠቀም የአፍና የአፍንጫ መሸፈኛ
15
በመጠቀም
minutes or
ማስክ
so.
ያድርጉ። እናመሰግናለን። Rear passengers, welcome to Addis Ababa International Airport Lounge to prevent from
And
COVID-19.
as I was saying, I am in Addis Ababa Airport business class lounge, a fairly nice lounge. The best business class lounge I have been in was the one in Amsterdam, I believe. Right? The KLM lounge in Amsterdam is ridiculous. I have footage of it. It's it looks like some new futuristic thing that you will find in Vegas or something. But no, it's in the middle of an airport. In the middle of an airport. So that's one thought I've been having is growth, and maybe I'll have a more extensive video on it about that whole need for growth, the lies that are told about it, economy wise, and then also how that also applies to our lives, and then how people want what other people want, right? Can I get one in the chat? If we understand that desire is basically mimicking, right? Get a one in the chat. If we understand that, that baby that was playing with the baby who did not want to play with the ball until the other baby started playing with the ball, and then all of a sudden that baby wants it, right? That's just another way of saying that marketing works, right? Because you didn't want something until you saw some celebrity or some influencer, as they call them these days, say that it is cool, say that, oh, you should want it, and then you want it. Now, desire is mimicking, just as many of the things that we do tend to be mimicking. Monkey see, monkey do. We are the best at mimicking of all animals. That's one of the things that we do very well. So when you understand that desire is mimicking, and that if you start looking around at people and you do the role model thing and you want what they want, everybody wanting what everybody else wants, what does that lead to? Shout out to practitioner in the house. Everybody wanting what everyone else wants, what does that inevitably lead to? That's going to lead to conflict. That's going to lead to a lot of chaos. Hence, most spiritual practices tell you to transcend and look up to something that is beyond. So they say, hey, don't mimic your neighbor. Don't keep up with the Joneses. How about you try to keep up with Jesus Christ or something, right? How about you try to keep up with Buddha or something like that? Just another thought there. So we started out with the thought about growth. And that growth is important because when things become a zero-sum game, we get at each other's throats. And you may be able to already see the connection between these 2 points here, which is that since people are always wanting what other people want, desire is mimicry, just like most of the things we do is mimicry. We know this intuitively that we want what other people want. And if we keep wanting what everyone else wants, at some point we're going to clash, right? Hence, we need to expand. We need to create more stuff. That's how the growth theme ties in here. So without real growth, we have a real problem. And actually, right now, we don't have real growth. We have growth in the world of bits, growth in the world of zeros and ones, and nice new glass cases to enclose the zeros and ones, and we call them new iPhones. But that's not real growth, right? Because you cannot satisfy certain real needs and solve certain real problems that we have. So, who knows? When I land back in the United States and when I get back in my fasting and prayer routine, as I said, because I need to get back in. I need to get back in monk mode. Then I may expound upon these particular ideas in a video. Ideas being the idea of growth, and also how it ties into desire being mimicry. And everybody keeps wanting what everyone else wants, then we need more and more stuff. Otherwise, before you know it, we're going to be at each other's throats, which happens from time to time. And then we do the scapegoating where we blame someone else. Oh, it's the Igbos, it's the Jews, it's the Mexicans, or it's somebody. It doesn't really matter. You can take it into your personal life as well. But shout out, shout out, shout out. I will be sipping the rest of my latte and heading out, leaving the lounge to the gate A16 to flight ET921 Ethiopian Airlines from here to Washington. How many hours is that? Let me see if I can. All right, all right, all right. Gonna have to leave you guys. So as I was saying, check out Habisha Traveler's channel. Met up with her and African Tigress through a mutual friend in Addis Ababa. Did some content in both of their channels. So far, everything has been good. Heading back to the States, getting back into my routine, tightening up the discipline. Things have been a little too loose. And by that I mean, having a good time. Allowing myself to have more of a good time than I normally would. But but I'm reaching an end of my tether as far as chaos goes. So I got to go reestablish some more order. So, two ideas today is that growth is necessary. Economic growth is generally in these days, since perhaps even the 60s and such, is a big lie. There is no growth. There's only growth in the world of bits, if you will, the world of information technology. Technology nowadays is synonymous with information technology. Meanwhile, technology should mean everything, such as the flying cars you were promised, and the cure for cancer, and many, many, many other things, which the realms within which we have had a lot of stagnation. But they keep telling you there's a lot of growth going on, but it's all in the world of bits. And then I talked about mimicry in desire. Desires are basically imitations, they're imitative in nature. We tend to want what other people want. Now, we have needs, that's for sure. But I'm not talking about the mere needs. I'm talking about desires. The desire to play with that toy. You did not want to play with the toy until the other kid started playing with the toy, and now you got to have the toy, and now you got to fight that other kid to get the toy. So, growth and desire being mimicry are kind of related for obvious reasons. And we will talk later more substantively on these topics. Whenever I get but yeah, thank you very much for joining us. Shout out to practitioner Chaos Rain in the house, Carl Black in the house, Nicer in the house, a Sister George in the house. All right, so I'm gonna pack up my stuff over there, and I'm gonna head out to gate A16. I'm gonna get in the plane first, okay? Because can't be getting in the plane with the rest of the cattle. Is that right, practitioner? Can't be going to the back of the plane with the cattle. You gotta go to the front of the plane. Seriously though, taking long flights, and when you're 6'4", you cannot afford to fly economy. As I said, I did it once and then I never did it again. Reach in your pocket, pay the extra money. It comes with extra perks too, like the lounges and the meals and the quiet and better service, blah blah blah. But the space is worth it. I cannot be cramped. I'm always working, blah blah blah. I can't be seen with the cattle. Peace. Peace out.